Good morning, it's Rachel. I wanted to quickly do a video on pruning tomatoes, and we're doing this for two reasons. One is to prevent disease, improve airflow, and the second is to try and concentrate the tomato's energy into what you want it doing, which is producing fruit, instead of suckers, which are growths that come off at all different directions and will essentially result in a bigger plant, but you don't necessarily want a bigger plant, you just want a productive plant. So let me show you how I trellis and how I prune to achieve low disease rates and good fruit production. Juvenile tomato plants, this has been in the ground about 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm going to show how I prune them and also how I trellis them. So you can see here, when they first get going and they're itty bitty, I do use these clips to hold them to the trellis. But after that, what I prefer to do is what I'm about to do now, which is I take this really flexible growing tip and I just gently wrap it around the trellis. And I will keep doing that as it grows. I prefer that over the clips. The clips can actually kind of rub the stems a little bit as they go, and I don't want to damage the stems because that's how bacteria and fungus get in. So the most common tomato diseases are bacterial wilt, which is transmitted by bacteria in the soil, or blight, which is a fungal disease. And both of those are made better, or avoided I should say, by not having moist conditions. And so you really want to prune for airflow, and you especially want to prevent splashback from the soil. So when raining, either it's raining or you're watering with a watering can, it can splash back up off the soil. And so what I do is once the plant gets about this big, about 2 feet, and you can see it's got its first fruit set coming off the stem, you can remove all of the foliage below that fruit set. So I will come in here with scissors and just cut off all of the leaves coming off of this stem that are, sorry if you can't see this very well, but below that fruit set. And so when you do that, you really open up, as you can see, much better airflow beneath the plant, and you're not going to get splashback coming back. Now, I will also quickly go through here, I don't know if you can even see this, but the base of the stem back here, close to the ground, has started throwing up little suckers, which is what it should do, but we don't want those. We want to concentrate the energy of the plant into fruit production. Now, the other way to spot suckers here is, if you look at the main stem, this is like our main growing stem, right? And it's got these leaves that come off of it. It's got, sorry, let me move this out of the way. Apologies guys for the video quality today. It's got these fruit sets, blossoms coming off of it. Now, in between the main stem and this leaf here, where my finger is coming off, you'll see these things coming up at an angle. These are suckers, and if you leave that on, it will become a new growing tip for the tomato. What you want to do is go in like this with the tips of your fingers and just pinch them off. And remove them. And I've got, you can kind of see another one right here. That's another sucker that's coming up. So this is the main stalk here. This is a leaf coming off. This guy, it's diagonally, that's a sucker, and you want to remove it. Don't remove your blossoms. Your blossoms are your fruit. And so I will typically, as I'm trellising these and wrapping them around, I'll just quickly go up and pinch those off. Now, those you can pinch off. The leaves, the bigger, thicker ones that I just removed with scissors, the reason you want to cut those with scissors is so you don't accidentally tear them off the stem. If you do that, you'll leave a big wound. That's just a really large surface area for disease to get in. So you don't want to do that. You want to cut them cleanly. But the suckers you can just pinch. So there you go. That is a pruned tomato plant. I'm going to go and do the rest of them. And then just one last note on why you want to do this in the morning, which is when I'm doing it. If you do this first thing in the morning, these wounds you've just made on the tomato have a chance to heal, and they won't get wet or sick or diseased. There's also no rain in the forecast today, which is the other reason I'm doing it today. If this was a rainy day or generally like I had a lot of wet conditions expected, I would not do the pruning today. So you want to do it during conditions when they're going to have a chance to dry off and heal and seal off so they don't catch diseases in those new openings.